realize when you're saying that how insane you sound. Like to us, like, you know how back in the day when people are like, oh, I'm sick, I have a mental illness, they're like, oh, the devil, Satan. I feel like we're gonna get to a point in society where it's like what you're saying right now is like they're gonna think you're crazy.
You just told me that if a man has sex with another man while that other man is wearing a dress, he's not engaged in a homosexual action because the second man is secretly a woman. But you're telling me that
Why are you guys so concerned? Like,
because
get the over it.
Well, you know,
like, I'm so serious right now.
Right?
Yeah, because they're pushing
it's
it on everybody.
It's not that push, though. Look away. As somebody, you know what's crazy?
Just because up until 2015, there was no such thing as transgenderism as a matter of public life. In 2015, Barack Obama decided to insert it into military policy. And then the thing about gender identity is that it is a self-identity. So there's no test that someone has to take to prove that one is now a man or a woman. It's all just self-definition.
But you're still going to be...
All right, so you're about to watch Michael Knowles absolutely dismantle a panel of feminists who think they can logic their way around reality. And I'm telling you right now, this is one of those moments where you watch someone completely trapped by their own ideology, trying to defend the indefensible. These girls genuinely believe that a man in a dress becomes a woman just because he says so. And then they turn around and call Michael crazy for believing in God based on reason and logic. Like, do you understand how backwards that is? Watch how Michael handles this. Pay attention to the exact moment one of them literally admits that trans women, biological men, can just walk into women's bathrooms because they're trans women, and then in the same breath tries to claim that wouldn't be abused. It's genuinely insane. Let's get into it.
Okay, Super RC, thank you for the 50. As masculine men, we should be compassionate. Let them decide whether they want to have a baby or not. It's not black and white. There's no proof of God or the right religion. There's hundreds of religion. Can't use religion as facts for law. Super Ronnie.
Oh my God.
I like this
It's just so incoherent because people now treat this stuff as though you're like talking about a magical sky daddy with a beard or whatever. That's what like the modern atheists say.
It's actually an AI plus some robot.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's gonna wipe us all out.
Yeah, it's like
our
a god.
arguments.
Yeah. It's like an AI machine that looks a lot
by
like
the way,
God.
you never answered. So the Acto baby thing. Would you agree if someone doesn't want to have the baby to put that?
Well, I think he
as a last resort. As a last resort, maybe. Yeah. But no, the thing is, the existence of God can be known with certainty from the natural world by the light of human reason, and you actually have to reason about all these things. If you want to pass a law against parking tickets or taxes, you have to take into account moral thoughts. So yeah, the religion is essential to it, as we all know.
Wrong.
Toast.
Just kidding. I don't give a fuck. Believe what you want. If that helps you sleep better at night, bro.
Oh,
if when you're tucking yourself in, you go to sleep thinking that's how the life is working.
No,
hey,
it's just the inescapable
fuck up your sleep patterns.
No, it's just the inescapable conclusion of my use of right reason by the things that I perceive.
And it's like, but
world.
you say that and you don't realize when you're saying that how insane you sound. Like to us, like, you know how back in the day when people are like, oh, I'm sick, I have a mental illness, they're like, oh, the devil, Satan. I feel like we're gonna get to a point in society where it's like what you're saying right now is like they're gonna think you're crazy.
Well,
like
the devil,
you sound crazy. Like you sound crazy when you say that shit. Like I hope you. I don't know if it's just me, but you literally sound like Looney Tune bin, like you're ready to get locked up, like straight.
Kiko, you just told me. You just told me that if a man has sex with another man while that other man is wearing a dress, he's not engaged in a homosexual action because the second man is secretly a woman. But you're telling me that by using my right reason to deduce from the world that because the world is, say, in motion, there has to be an unmoved mover, or because the world is caused, there has to be an uncaused cause, or for any other number of reasons, we can conclude that God must exist in order for this contingent world to be as it is. That seems a little crazy.
And there, right there, folks, is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, that was like, you barely even used any religious jargon, but it's like...
Right, I used logic.
Like,
I used the language of formal
losing
logic.
us. Like, you're losing us.
What do you say?
I guess.
I'm just trying to be honest.
What do you say to guys? Like some people commented, no girl is worth waiting 3 months. What do you say?
No girl's worth waiting 3 months. Who is this guy? Is this guy just like picking up hookers every night and sort of like paying a cheap kind of? No, I would say 3 months is a good minimum to start with. Maybe
Eric, can you open the door a little bit? It's a little stuffy in here.
It's all personal preference.
All right, we have dry
I feel like
objectively true or false.
Personal preference.
What did you say?
Or it's objectively true or false. You know, it's like either
all the way.
I can't. I'm not hearing the last part. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? He's saying
No.
Oh, true or
like
false?
Objective, not subjective.
No, it's just you find somebody who believes what you believe and go make babies and have love with them like you did, and happy for you. But like me. Yeah, we wouldn't, we wouldn't. So I'm going to meet somebody who I already have, who we share a lot of similar views. We share some differing views, but we know how to respect each other's views because they're not so polarizing that we are disrespecting each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But aren't there better and worse ways to live? Like, can't you
and like you seem like you're living your life in agony, so worried about what all these other people are doing. I look like I'm in agony.
I'm the happiest guy I know.
But like maybe not
I don't
exactly.
Storm off sets.
Maybe not
I don't
exactly.
even raise my voice.
Don't say you don't raise your voice.
I don't raise my voice.
But
I project because I'm a performer.
I get that. I project too.
But
I project
I don't start yelling. I don't get really angry.
I get that. But maybe not you necessarily. But I do know so many people who like literally like they are straight men, but are just sitting rocking at night at the thought of trans women having sex with straight men. Like, why are you guys so concerned? Like, get the over it. Well,
I think
one is so serious right now.
Right?
Yeah, because they're pushing
it's
it
not
on
that
everybody.
push, though. Look away. As somebody, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the point, though. You know that thing that's circulating around with me? That shit has probably, like 3 million views now? Or 6 million?
Okay, so hold on. Let's break down what just happened here. Because this is the exact moment where their entire argument collapses, and they don't even realize it. Michael just laid out a basic logical fact. Under current civil rights law in some states, gender identity is self-defined. There's no test. There's no standard. You just say, I identify as a woman, and that's it. And her response? No judge is going to win that case. Like what? That's not an argument. That's just denial. She's basically saying, well, I don't think it would happen, so therefore the law doesn't say what it says. That's not how laws work. The law literally protects self-identified gender as a civil right in certain jurisdictions. Michael's not making this up. This is documented. This is real. And then, and this is what kills me, she brings up the gay panic defense like that somehow proves her point. First of all, the gay panic defense is a disgusting relic that has nothing to do with trans bathroom access. But second, the fact that outdated discriminatory laws still exist in some places doesn't mean new discriminatory laws that swing the other way aren't also a problem. You can oppose both. It's not one or the other. But here's the thing. These girls know Michael's right. They just can't admit it. Because if they admit that gender identity is purely self-defined with no objective standard, then they have to admit that yes, any man can walk into a women's bathroom and claim he identifies as a woman, and there's no legal recourse. And that terrifies them because they know how that gets abused. Look at how defensive she gets. You're delusional. You wouldn't win. She's not countering his argument. She's just hoping if she says he's wrong confidently enough, people will believe her. It's the same tactic every time. When the left can't win on facts, they just assert their position louder and call you crazy. And Michael stays calm the entire time. He's not yelling. He's not attacking. He's just laying out the logical conclusions of the policies they support. And they can't handle it. Because when you actually follow their ideology to its conclusion, it's absurd. It's indefensible. Now watch this next part where she brings up the restaurant story. Because this is where it gets even better. She's about to accidentally prove Michael's point for him.
It's of me. I'm the one speaking in the video. It has not once come up on any of my social media platforms. I'm only getting people sent to me, and I'm in it. It's because you guys are making that your life. Step away from the internet. Go touch some grass. You guys say it's only 1% of people. Go surround yourself without that.
Pico, the reason is because up until 2015, there was no such thing as transgenderism as a matter of public life. In 2015, Barack Obama decided to insert it into military policy. And then also in 2015, a bunch of liberals in North Carolina passed an ordinance that said that there are no women's bathrooms anymore because dudes can go into the women's bathroom. So it was the pro-transgender people.
I'm letting you know right now it's not trans women who are It's those weirdos who are going into the bathrooms who are trying to who are trying to abuse that power. They would have been going into those bathrooms regardless if it was allowed for them to or not.
Where do the trans women go to the bathroom?
In the women's bathroom because they're a trans woman.
But you just said that it's not.
That's the thing I'm saying. I'm saying the trans women who are actual trans women who are.
There's no such thing as an actual trans woman.
Okay, the point I'm trying to say is there's weirdos who are going to abuse the power, who would have abused the power without those laws in place anyways. Those weirdos.
No, they would be kicked out. Is the difference?
They are still going to be kicked out. A man.
No, now there's a civil right according to the Bostock decision.
You think so?
If you
walked into the women's bathroom in that state right now and you just said, "Oh, I go by she/hers," they're going to let you stay in there? Be fucking for real. There's common sense still,
Kiko,
dude.
if they didn't, I could sue under civil rights law.
And you wouldn't win. You wouldn't win.
Unfortunately, I would win.
I'm guaranteeing
you would not win.
You wouldn't.
There's a Supreme Court
They would have
precedent
so much evidence against you. There's so much evidence.
There's no evidence.
You guys are so delusional to these actual real world problems because you guys read 2 stats online of people, or you talk to one person who's a detransitioner, or you hear one thing online, and you guys think it is the
Kiko,
overall
I'm just telling you what the
normal.
law says. The thing about
I know what the law says, but
the thing about gender identity is that it is a self-identity. So there's no test that someone has to take to prove that one is now a man or a woman. It's all just self-definition.
But you're still going to be in front of the court of law, and you're still going to have to win the case. No judge is going to have you win that case. I'm sorry, you're delusional.
You're right. According to
that's why we still have the gay panic law in some states. If you think that's passed,
actually, can I say something? I witnessed this the other week. We were at a really nice restaurant, where you had to dress up to go there. Yeah. And then there was a trans person, and they walked in fishnets and just a bra exposing everything. Yeah. And it was very vocal about it.
Any such
and
cases?
Then, some people next to the table asked, why the person was allowed in the restaurant. They said, we can't kick them out.
Exactly.
So it does happen.
Then they don't have a dress code. That should be a dress code thing.
No matter your gender.
No matter your gender, you have to follow a dress code.
No. They're able to kick her out.
Just like my friend. Yeah, my friend just got kicked out of Vegas because she was. It's a masculine female.
Trans woman?
She's a masculine female wearing men's attire, and they did not let her in because she didn't fit the woman's dress code.
What was the establishment?
And she left, and she just left.
So
it's I'm not saying it can't happen, but that's the thing of dress code. That's nothing to do with gender.
Yeah,
even a woman wouldn't get away with wearing that.
I know, but
so they need to update their rules.
Women, especially women, would not get away with wearing that. But the thing about this weird transgender moment is that transgender identifying people can get away with whatever the hell they want.
No, they can't.
I'm saying if they had a dress code in place, they would not be allowed. If they had a dress code saying no fishnets or exposing things allowed, no matter if they thought they were a fucking unicorn, they wouldn't be allowed to sit in there.
Yeah, literally.
The establishments are nervous to say anything or kick them out.
That's a problem on them. That's a problem on them getting nervous about it. Why do you have to be so nervous?
Well, because then they'll end up on the news.
There was a Supreme Court case about this, though, about dress codes for transgender identifying people, specifically in a funeral home, and the transgender person prevailed in that because we're in this weird moment. It was actually parodied in Family Guy, which is that there's this guy at the end of the bar who's a transvestite, and he's looking at porn, and the bartender comes down and he says, "Hey, you can't look at porn at this bar." And he says, "Hey, no, I'm a transgender." They said, "Oh, okay, then do whatever the hell you want." And that's actually how our Supreme Court law works, and it's how it operates in the country. And it's ridiculous.
So a transgender can murder someone. We'll be like, "Hey, you're transgender. Do whatever the you want."
There are an odd number of serial killers who have been, including the most famous ones.
Let's wrap it up, Brian. Let's wrap it up.
It's just a historical fact. But
all right, we gotta get through the super chats.
Let's Lambs and stuff.
All right, so let's talk about what we just watched, because this entire exchange is a perfect example of what happens when ideology meets reality, and ideology loses every single time. Michael Knowles walks into this conversation armed with logic, reason, and actual legal precedent. These girls walk in with feelings, deflection, and the hope that calling him crazy will work. And it doesn't. Not even close. The restaurant story they brought up? That was supposed to be their gotcha moment. See, trans people can't just do whatever they want. There are still dress codes. Except that completely missed Michael's point. His point wasn't that trans people are allowed to break dress codes. His point was that in our current cultural and legal climate, there is an insane double standard where transgender identifying people are often given special treatment, and businesses are terrified to enforce normal rules because they'll get accused of discrimination. And then she literally confirms that by saying her masculine presenting female friend got kicked out of a Vegas club for not meeting the women's dress code. So the dress code was enforced for a biological woman, but somehow we're supposed to believe it would be enforced the same way for a trans-identifying man? Come on. And let's talk about the core issue here, the bathroom argument. One of the girls literally said trans women should use women's bathrooms because they're trans women. And when Michael points out that opens the door for any man to claim he's a trans woman and walk in, her response is, well, the weirdos who would abuse that would have done it anyway. That is genuinely one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard. Yeah, predators exist. That's exactly why you don't create legal protections that make it easier for them to access victims. You don't leave your front door unlocked because burglars would break in anyway. That's insane. But here's what really got me. They called Michael crazy. You sound like you're ready to get locked up for using reason and logic to conclude that God exists based on observable truths about the world. Meanwhile, they're sitting there defending the idea that a man becomes a woman just because he says so. Let that sink in. They think belief in an unmoved mover based on centuries of philosophical reasoning is insane, but belief in self-defined gender with no objective standard is perfectly rational. That's the state of the modern left, and Michael handled it perfectly. He didn't get emotional, he didn't raise his voice, he just kept pressing them with logic, and every single time they crumbled. That's how you win these debates. You don't need to yell, you just need to be right. So here's my question for you guys. How do these people not hear themselves? Like, do they genuinely not see the contradiction? Or do they see it and they just don't care because the ideology is more important than the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. And look, this is what we do here at MB. We watch these debates, we break down the BS, we call out the hypocrisy. If you're tired of watching the left get away with this stuff unchallenged, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp.